Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Olectra Greentech Q4 FY23 investor conference call hosted by Axis Capital Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rakesh Jain from Axis Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Aman. Welcome everybody to Olectra Greentech Q4 FY23 Concall invite. Today we have from the management Mr. KB Pradeep, the Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Sharat Chandra, Chief Financial Officer, and Hanuman Prasad, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer. So I'll now hand over the call to the management for their opening remarks, which will be followed by Q&A session. So over to you, Mr. Sharat. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Actually, apologies. CMD, Mr. KB Pradeep, due to emergency, is not able to join the call. So let me actually give an introduction and a brief highlights of the financials. So thank you all for joining in for the earnings call for Q4 and full year results today. We are pleased to report strong growth in both our standalone and consolidated revenue and profitability for the year ended March 31, 2023. Although there continues to be a supply chain and other macro risks, our focus continues on increasing our manufacturing capacity and enhancing our technology capabilities. This has helped us to maintain our leadership position in the electric vehicle segment, and we intend to be the market leader in EV segment. In just 5 years since the delivery of first bus, Olectra has established itself as the leading e-bus OEM and now firmly looking ahead for a bigger vision. We have delivered over 1100 plus electric buses till 31st March 2023. Our business model has moved a long way in the last 6 years and proven profitable to the end customers. It has changed from a demand constraint to a supply constraint, and we are seeing the demand for the electric buses to be exploding. As you are aware, our company has evolved from being a part of a little-known business enterprise in 2017 to be now part of MEIL, which is one of the India's largest infra and engineering company with more than 30 years of industry experience, with a turnover of USD 3.4 billion, and it is a AA rated company. Our order book, as we stand as on 31st March after delivering 563 electric buses, is at 1,394. We are pleased to share our shareholders that our company has received the CMVR and homologation certificate and started to sell electric tippers in Q4. And we are the first company to register and sell e-tippers in the country. We remain committed to contributing towards the clean mobility agenda of the country and look forward to a strong growth trajectory in the coming years. I would like to now give a detailed presentation on the financials. Our company has achieved excellent growth in Q4 and full year, and the key highlights for Q4 and full year standalone financials is as follows. Our revenue for Q4 is at 368.4 crores as against 268.1 crores, up by 37.4%. Our EBITDA for Q4 is at 48.82 crores as against 34.2 crores, up by 42.71%. Our PAT for Q4 is at 27.81 crores as against 17.47 crores in corresponding quarter of last year, up by 59.2%. These numbers are primarily driven by the performance of electric bus segment, where the volumes have grown by 24%. We have done about 158 buses, electric vehicles, which include 17 e-tippers in Q4, as against 127 electric buses delivered in corresponding Q4 of last year. We are pleased to inform our shareholders that during Q4, we have added 3 more new customers to the portfolio. The new customers are KSRTC, which is India's largest STU, MSRTC and Thane, and by delivering intercity and city electric buses. In the same quarter, in the current quarter, MEL has donated about 10 Olectra buses for TTD, replacing the existing diesel buses for pilgrims transport in Tirumala Hills. We also had a positive contribution from insulator segment in Q4 due to significant improvement in operating margins, primarily driven by the export business. Coming to the full year performance, the company has been surpassing the record year on year with new height achieved in financial year 22-23 in terms of both top line and bottom line growth. We have crossed a milestone of 1,000 plus crore revenue. The revenue growth is primarily driven by the electric vehicle segment, which has grown by 94% from 585.43 crores to 1,134.41 crores for the full year. The EBITDA stood at 148.63 crores as against 86.19 crores, up by 72.4% with healthy EBITDA margin of 13%. The PAT for the company is stood at 70.7 crores versus 35.7 crores, up by 98%. The operating margins have been very good in both in insulator segment and electric bus segment. The net profit, as I mentioned, has grown by 98%. On the tax line, the tax rate is at 21% in the current year versus 31% in last year. A word on the consolidated results. The company again achieved excellent growth in Q4 and 12 months. The key highlights are revenue for the full year is at 1,090.76 crores versus 593.26 crores, a growth of 84%. The EBITDA on a consolidated number is at 153.97 crores versus 90.9 crores, up by 69%. The PAT is at 65.59 crores versus 86% in last year. So overall, the Q4 and full year has been very good for Olectra in both our standalone and consolidated with continued growth of revenue and operations and profitability. We believe that we are well placed and poised to deliver strong results in financial year 23-24. Thank you all the shareholders and to all the stakeholders who have been very supportive and repose trust in our company. Over to Axis team for the Q&A.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star and one at this time. The first question is from the line of Nishid Shah from Ambika Fincap. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my question and congratulations on a good set of numbers. My question is on the status of the expansion. That is the first. And by when do we expect to have the capacity of 5,000 buses? And my second question is on the car. Since we have a tie-up with BYD on the buses, and I think the BYD cars are being imported CKD into India, and they are being sold by the landmark showrooms. But are we going to participate and partner with BYD in terms of manufacturing cars in India? These are the two questions right now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Regarding your first question on the expansion, right, we are very much committed to establish the greenfield facility, and the documentation is in process. The documentation is completed. We are looking for the best opportunity to raise the funds and exploring various options. We have floated tender for establishing the facility, and soon we will appoint the vendor for construction of the plant. We are expecting to shift to the new facility in Q4 of the current financial year. And coming to the second question, on the cars, as of now, our company is focused on the existing business of electric buses, and we have entered into the new product portfolio of electric tippers, and we are focusing on introducing new models, new product line in electric tippers as well as buses.
Yeah. So, on the fundraising, are we having any plan or we don't need the funds because I was told that the parent mega infrastructure may pump in money and you may not need to do fundraising exercises.
Yeah. There is no change in plans for fundraising. We have an enabling resolution. The market conditions are not conducive, and once the market condition improves, we are all set to go ahead with the fundraising plans. And we are exploring various options. We'll keep the investors updated on any progress on this matter.
Thank you for taking my questions. I'll come back in the queue. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddhartha Bera from Nomura. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So first question is on the volume side. So can you just share how much is the order book you have now for the electric buses for the next year, and any numbers you plan to produce to cater to this demand?
Your second question was not clear. Your voice was breaking actually. If you can repeat.
Yeah, so I was asking about your plan to what will be your production target for the next year in FY24 and 25.
Yeah. Regarding the order book, first question, we have a order book of 3,394 buses on hand as on 31st March 2023 after delivering 563 electric buses. And as well as the plans for the next year, we are targeting a growth of about 2.5 to 3x to the current number, approximately about 1,200 to 1,500 electric buses / tippers.
Got it. On the tipper side, sir, we have already delivered a few in the last month. How do you look at the ramp up? I mean, earlier you targeted about doing 200 units per month in some time. So how do you see the ramp up going ahead on the electric tipper side?
So currently, we have an order for 20 tippers. Against that, we have delivered about 17 tippers. We are expecting very good response. Our trials have been very, very successful. And as I told you, the overall volume we are expecting, including tippers, could be in the region of 1,200 to 1,500 this year. And we are expecting some orders very soon. Yeah.
Okay. And this quarter, we would have delivered how many electric buses and tippers in Q4?
In Q4, we delivered 141 electric buses and 17 electric tippers.
Okay, got it. Second question is, sir, on the balance sheet side. So if I look at our inventory days or say the receivable days, it still remains quite high. I mean, we have grown business by about we have doubled this year versus last year. But if I look at the inventory receivable days, they still are pretty high, like about 230 days as per my calculation. And even the inventory days have also gone up from 47 to 50 days. So do you think, I mean, these levels will continue as we scale up, or should we expect some normalization? How to think about this, and why it is on the higher side?
Yeah. See, basically, the average receivables period has come down compared to Q3 ending by about. Now it is overall net working days is about 99. It is reduced, and the collection period we are expecting to be about 3 to 3.5 months, and this is going to get corrected in next 2 to 3 quarters. And as far as inventory is concerned, we have currently only 2 months of stock. As we ramp up the production, we are likely to increase the inventory days.
Okay, so you are saying a collection period of 3 to 3.5 months will continue even as we scale up to say 1,500 or 2,000 buses over the next 2 years?
Yes, as of now, yes. Maybe in 2 or 3 quarters, we are likely to see some improvement. But overall, our net working days is expected to be around 3 to 3.5 months.
Okay. Got it, sir. I'll come back with that.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Rakesh Jain from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. So my first question is regarding, how are you seeing the order flows and trends playing out in the bus segment? There's some bit of concerns around, what the FAME subsidy is going to look like over the next few years, right? And for some segments, there's even talk of cutting on the subsidy. And have you seen any sort of concerns on, where government is asking for additional clarity on the parts you are supplying or the component or, the localization you are doing right now? And how are you seeing next 1 year from the government there? Because, we read that some of the articles saying that the bidders are not willing to bid for some of the orders recently by CESL due to the pricing difference and the compliance issues. So what are you seeing on ground? Exactly what's happening?
As far as the orders in pipeline is concerned, about almost 10,000 buses are in various stages of tendering. One of the biggest order is MSRTC, 5,150 buses, where we have submitted our bids. So, as far as the FAME subsidy is concerned, I think we have spoken earlier. The new tenders or bids are going to be without subsidy. Okay, that is the intention of the government because the FAME subsidy is going to end by 2024. So where the FAME 2 subsidy was earmarked for about 7,090 electric buses. So once that is completed, the FAME 2 subsidy program will be completed, and all the new tenders will be without any FAME subsidy.
Sure. So how does it changes the pricing on overall basis when you apply for bids now, given that subsidy will no more be applicable? And do you see that impacting volumes to an extent?
Yeah. No. See, basically, currently the average cost per kilometer for any STU pan India is about almost 150 rupees per kilometer. With same subsidy, the average cost, let us say, is about 50 rupees. There's a huge differential between the average CPK currently versus the electric bus. Now, when the subsidy component is no longer there, the cost is likely to go up. But even if you assume that from 50 rupees it goes up to 100, still there's a huge gap between the average cost per kilometer of an STU versus the electric bus. So it is highly remunerative for the STUs to continue to go for electric buses.
Sure. So, given that the pricing is going to go up, and even where the funding will be largely now, if it comes, it has to come from the state side. And the central will largely not provide any more support when these orders are being laid out. Is that correct understanding?
See, basically, some of the states, like for example, state of Maharashtra has been very progressive in terms of bringing their own.
So we are unable to hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that we have lost the line for the management. We would request all participants to please remain connected while we reconnect the management line. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently waiting. We have the management line reconnected. Sorry, it seems we have lost the line for the management once again. Let me just reconnect them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently waiting. We have the management line reconnected. Over to you, Rakesh. Can you please repeat the question?
So I think my question was partly addressed. Sharath, if you...
Thank you. We will move to our next question in this case. That is from the line of Gunjan Prithyani from Bank of America. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for taking my questions. I just had the follow-up on this same thing. You mentioned that incrementally most tenders would come without the same subsidy being factored. Have you seen any change in terms of the way now the bidding is happening, given that incentive is not available? So how should we think about the bidding or the pricing scenario in as subsidies sort of go away? Also on the subsidies, I mean, whatever government has so far funded, what are the conditions like? I mean, is it localization? Is there anything else that they are enforcing to to be able to get that incentive?
Yeah. You're answering your first question. The CESL new tenders, the rates have increased compared to the first tender which was floated in the beginning by CESL.
Mm-hmm.
And the participation has been quite good, and we are expecting the rates to definitely go up by 15-20 rupees against FAME, right, in the new tenders. And as far as the subsidy is concerned, yes, as per the FAME regulations, one of the key requirement is localization, complying with the localization norms, and subject to the localization norms, the other requirement is providing bank guarantee for releasing the subsidy.
Okay, and this. Sorry, on this pricing.
I think there's no charge.
Okay. On this pricing, which you mentioned that it is in the new CESL bids. If I recall correctly, the last one was somewhere around 50. I'm not sure. Maybe if you can just give an idea of what it was in the initial contract and now where it is.
The initial contract, as actually though it was won by our competitor, till date it is nothing has progressed on this contract. It was at very, very low at about 43 to 45 rupees per kilometer, right? Against that, the new contracts are better off, significantly better off. It's about 60 plus. And the other aspect is the adoption is really picking up of electric buses, and the ecosystem is getting created. So without subsidy also, it is remunerative for the STUs to go for electric buses.
And have you seen
for other new contracts, the competitor has not bid for the new contracts. Just for your kind information.
So who are the participants in the new CESL? I mean, who won?
The new CESL contracts are basically now it is coming up. Actually, the recent program got deferred.
Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that we have lost the management line once again. Please wait while we reconnect them. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for waiting. We have the management line reconnected.
Hello, yeah. Apologies, I think there's some issue in the line. It's getting disconnected. Hello.
So you were talking about the new CESL.
Just to give a clarity again, I think first bid was won by Tata Motors, and later it got distributed between two parties. The second CSL was bid by four members, four different companies, and it is split between four companies.
Okay, and the rates are higher. Okay.
Yes,
Got it.
rates are higher.
Yeah. The other question that I had was that, of course, the demand, as you mentioned, has been very, very strong, and there's clear big government push on e-bus adoption. But, often supply chain is the biggest, issue that most companies talk of. So, where are we on supply chain now in terms of, be the battery tie-ups, motors, whatever be the ecosystem. I mean, how is that progressing? And the financing is also something which has been a constraint. So if you can just share some thoughts on how is the ecosystem developing around these two things.
Yeah. The supply chain concern, as you rightly said, has been one of the issues in the industry. So basically, as you're aware, all the OEMs have to depend on imports for battery cells and some of the powertrain components. So other than that, most of the components are localized in India. So the supply chain constraints are getting now. We are in a better position now compared to quarter 2 and quarter 3. And what was the second part of the question?
Financing.
Yeah, financing, as you rightly said, in the initial years, it was very, very difficult for the lenders to come in. Now, because of the model concessionary agreement and because of the clauses which are favorable to the lenders, a lot of lenders have come forward and financing the electric vehicle segment. And in our own case, we have sanctions by about 4 to 5 financial institutions, which include State Bank of India, S Bank, Bank of Karnataka Bank, Bank of India, REC. These are the major lenders which are financing the operating company, which is an associate company. As you are aware, the business model which is prevalent is the GCC model, wherein Olectra is the OEM. We manufacture and sell the buses and take care of the after-sales service.
Okay, got it. Just last question from my side. Are you seeing any activity pick up on the private side, like schools and other corporates on the e-buses?
Yeah, it is picking up. Actually, the traction is yet to happen, but definitely it is picking up. Because of their balance sheet size is low, and then lenders did not have they were not getting financial sanctions. It was delaying. But for your kind information, we got first private order, and we are delivering buses for intercity operations. And this player is known as Fresh Bus, and we have an order about 19 buses from them, and they are going to operate between Bangalore and Tirupati.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Divya Daga from Vijit Global Securities Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Rohit Bahirwani this side from Vijit Global Securities.
Regarding you be a little louder. I'm not able to hear you.
Am I audible?
Still low, actually. Can you increase?
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Myself, Rohit Bahirwani. My question was regarding latest announcement of hydrogen bus. When are you expecting it to be operationalized, and what is the pricing difference between hydrogen and e-bus?
As of now, I think the status quo remains. Okay, we have successfully developed first proto, and it is under testing. So as the hydrogen technology is nascent, it will take some time.
Okay, sir. Thank you, and I wish you the best for coming quarters.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddharth Agrawal from Systematics. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I must say congratulations on a very good set of numbers. I've been following your company for the last 5 years, and performance has been improving quarter on quarter. Sir, a couple of questions. Firstly, what is the difference in margin profile of your buses and your tippers? Okay. So you want to take one by one?
We would like to specify our margins between our margins guidelines. Though we have done very good, we have earned good EBITDA margins about 13%.
Yeah.
Overall, in terms of very high volumes, we.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the management line reconnected. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
It is slightly better because this is going to be a non-STU business.
Yeah. So how much will it be?
Actually better than definitely. I would not like to actually divulge the margin difference. Definitely, it is better than the buses.
Okay. So when we see segment results, so we see 17 buses and around 2.5 crores of PBIT. So that is leading me to ask this question. No problem. We'll wait for more sales to happen. So right now, when we talk of 1,200 buses plus tippers, so what are we expecting in June quarter? How many tippers to be delivered since we are almost mid of May? So, and I don't think your business is skewed towards the end of the quarter. It's a normal, normalized business. So what kind of delivery are you talking about in June quarter?
So as of now, I think we will not be able to give the exact number because we are expecting the order very shortly. Yeah. But overall, I think we are expecting to do about 200 numbers.
200 in May, in Q1.
Yes.
Okay.
Both buses and tippers together.
Sorry?
I'm saying 200, both buses and tippers together.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And which was this company you said where you got the first private order going to run between Bangalore and Tirupati?
It is Fresh Bus.
Fresh, F-R-E-S-H-B-U-S.
F-R-E-S-H, yeah.
Fresh Bus. So it's a private company. Okay, fine.
It's a private company, yes.
Fine. So it's not on the FAME 2 subsidy or is it still on the
FAME 2? It is an intercity operation. It is totally non-FAME.
So do you disclose what kind of rates are there?
What exactly is you're looking at? Selling price?
No. You are going to run for them or you're selling it to them?
No. See, basically, I think they are buying outright, and some of the buses again it will be on a hiring basis. As far as Olectra is concerned, we are making an outright sale.
Okay, so EV trans and all those things are not involved in this. Okay, and what will be the ASP of these buses? And what kind of margin profile? The average selling price of these buses and the margin profile for us?
So as of now, it's a very new order. We would like to actually will not be able to reveal the pricing, but definitely it is with a decent margin.
Yeah, sure. I have full faith in you that you will be doing the best margin possible since it's a non-same thing. So tell me one thing. When you mentioned about the new CSL tender, so we had heard in the third tender nobody participated. I'm just talking about newspaper article. I don't know whether it's true or not. So what, CSL is going to reframe the tender for the pricing or what?
Yeah, I think one of the tender where nobody has participated is a dry lease.
Okay, dry lease. Okay.
Currently the model is wet lease. So dry lease means the drivers of the STU will be involved, which all the OEMs are not keen.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, fine. Obviously, you won't be interested if their drivers are there because then you'll have to pay them as per their standards. And obviously, all the users.
They will not be under our control, right? So it's very important.
So they're going to rework it?
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, I'd heard that, there was, all these utilities, STUs and all, so they create problems in terms of repayment. This is industry sources. So I just wanted to understand, do you people also face problems of, payment, and how is your payment guaranteed by the STU because collection of ticket is done by them at their end? So how do you ensure that your payment is on time and like 90 days, I think, are your debtors. So these would be the main debtors, right?
Yeah, just to clarify, see, as far as Olectra is concerned, we manufacture and sell the buses to the operating company which owns the fleet. Okay, the company which the concessionaire owns the fleet and they operate on a per kilometer with the STU. As far as Olectra is concerned, we sell the buses and we take care of the service for the period of 10 to 12 years. All the new contracts are for 12-year duration. But to give a perspective, though Olectra is not directly involved, the operating company, in our case is EV Trans Private Limited, they are able to receive 70 to 80% of the receivables within 30 to 45 days. The balance, 25 to 30%, they are able to collect before 90 days.
Thank you.
The reason is basically the STUs are basically procuring services rather than capex, right? And under this model concessionaire agreement, which is formulated by Niti Aayog, there is the escrow mechanism where the revenues of these collections are pooled into that account, and 2 months fee is the minimum deposit they should maintain.
Thank you. Mr. Agarwal, request you to join the queue for any follow-ups as we have several participants waiting for their turn. We will move to the next question that is from the line of Nishad Shah from Ambika FinCap. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my follow-up question. On the three-wheelers, what is our strategy and from where we are sourcing the batteries for that, and do we source it in India or we are sourcing it from any other place?
Yeah, gentlemen, actually we are still not into three-wheelers. As of now, our strategy is, our focus is on electric buses and electric tippers and trucks. Yes.
But I think in one of the calls, Mr. Pradeep had said that we will be entering the three-wheelers also. So
I'll just clarify. In the CESL, when they floated the STEM 2 program, they have actually earmarked some budget for about 1 lakh three-wheelers. So we also participated, and we got about through a partner. We have participated and we got about 13,500 three-wheelers order. But the entire three-wheeler segment is on hold by CESL. So we are also not very keen to pursue.
okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rakesh Jain from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking the follow-up. Sir, you mentioned that about 17 tippers you had delivered in Q4, and based on your revenue, I think the ASP which you are quoting is roughly around 1.4 crore per tipper. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, can you just explain I mean, it's a significantly high ASP versus a conventional tipper in the market. So, what are the cost elements, differently playing out, and are these prices, will this ASP come down later as you ramp up this production, or how it will work?
This is nascent, as you rightly said, the industry is nascent. Definitely, we expect the prices to come down. The main factor will be the battery, right? So for the entire electric segment, we expect the battery prices to come down in the next 2 to 3 years. Okay, and the economics is actually quite significant. It's excellent price differential which is there between electric tipper and the conventional diesel tipper. So because of that reason, there will be huge demand from this market.
Right. But, right now you don't have any competitors, but I think there are few players who are willing to look at this market and are planning to launch over the next few quarters. So, you think your current pricing is competitive?
So basically, we should look at it in a different way. There is, as of now, we are the first company to have introduced and basically registered and sold electric tippers. No major competitors as of now. but definitely there is a huge market in India for tipper and trucks, which is a huge potential for everyone to come in. Not even if you take all the capacities are not sufficient to cater to the requirement which can come up, right? So we expect the competition to pick up in the next 1 to 2 years, and it will be healthy for the ecosystem to get created.
And what is your localization levels for tipper right now?
Yeah, as of now, I think except the battery cells and the powertrain components, all the other things are localized.
Okay. And this tippers which you are delivering, for what purpose it is going right now?
Yeah, as of now, it's basically used in mines, the project sites.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Naman Khandelwal from HDFC Bank. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Naman this side. Sir, two questions on the STUs. Since the STUs are in losses, it was being discussed that a SECI-type structure would be established to have a payment security, a central government agency which would be ensuring that the payments have been released from the STUs on time. So any insight on that? And second would be, since the STUs are deploying EVs, is it safe to assume that these STUs will now be profitable because the majority of the STUs are in losses? Again, this is a state transport undertaking, so the load factor and everything, which if it comes into the picture, then the revenue is not offsetting the payout which has been given to the operators. So any insight on those?
Yeah, see, as far as the payment mechanism is concerned, its escrow mechanism is in place, and 2 months fee is required to be deposited in the escrow account. And I think to earlier question raised by one of the participants, we have clarified that the concessionaire is able to realize the receivables of more than 70% in less than 45 days, and balance 25 to 30% in less than 90 days. Right? So that is as far as the first question is concerned. The second question is concerned with regard to
profitability of the STUs once they convert their fleet into...
Basically, there is a 5x differential between conventional diesel versus electric in terms of operational cost. Okay, so that is one incentive, major incentive. Second is the EPK of the electric buses is higher than the diesel buses, and this is giving good comfort for the STUs to adopt. And the most important is now the STUs are assuming the role of controlling. So because entire operation is taken care by the concessionaire except the fare collection. So, and they are procuring services rather than the capex. I hope to have clarified.
Yeah, but again, so for this segment to be profitable, the STUs should have a revenue collection from the end customer. So do you envisage that the cost which should be incurred, although the operational cost should be less of a EV bus as compared to a CNG or a diesel bus, but corresponding revenue from the customer will the STUs get to ensure that they turn profitable?
That's what I was mentioning. It is highly remunerative for them.
Okay.
Because there's a huge cost differential.
Okay. And sir, any plans to get into battery cell or pack manufacturing?
So as of now, actually, we have no plans for any battery manufacturing. We have plans in the new facility for assembly of battery cells to a pack.
Okay. And when is the last question from my side? When is the order book expected to be delivered for 3394 buses? Where is the delivery schedule?
See, we have a time of 12 to 18 months to deliver the buses.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anil as an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Can you please update what's the status of fundraising?
I think one of the questions was asked on this, but let me clarify again. There is no change in the plans for fundraising. We have an enabling resolution. The market conditions were not conducive, and once the market condition improves, we are all set to go ahead with the fundraising plan. And we are keeping on. We are actually exploring various options. We will keep you posted once there is any progress on this matter.
Do you think that it will affect the execution of setting up of our factory for which you have recently raised the tender?
Yeah. So we basically we are expecting a delay of 2 to 3 months.
No, last time when I asked the question, I was told that by January 24 we will start the production. And if you see the tender, it is already delayed by 6 months. But if you say the market conditions are not conducive, is that going to further delay? Now we are expecting June 24. Do you mean to say that it is going to go to January 25?
No, we are expecting a delay of about 3 months. So in quarter 4, we continue. Definitely, we are striving to get the plant operational by quarter 4 of this year.
Okay. And recently, we got a good news saying that Amar Raja batteries, they are starting to manufacture the lithium-ion batteries.
Right.
Is that going to help our company?
Definitely, we are looking forward as long as the costs are coming down. Obviously, we will be definitely looking at the options.
Okay. And there is one more news that we are finding
3 years, minimum 2 to 3 years time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we just heard that in Rajasthan also we could find a good reserves of lithium. Do you think that these kind of development encourages us to go for the in-house manufacturing of batteries?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. The PLI scheme which has been given by the government. And I think a few companies have got this PLI scheme, and with lithium reserves, it is going to take a lot of time for them to actually get the exact quantity which is available, but that is very encouraging for the country and the EV segment.
Okay. And what's the plan like? Can we say that by June 24, the factory will be in place and sales will start happening from June 24?
Definitely, yes. We are striving to...
Irrespective of fundraising plan or conducive weather of fundraising?
We are hoping that the things will improve with regard to the market, and so once that is in place, we are ready for the fundraise.
I'm like, it's just a surprise. Like, see, you come from such a good background of a sound promoter. I'm not sure like why we have to wait for an external conducive environment to go for 400 crores or 800 crores of fundraising. That's a very much good amount which can be invested as well by promoter, and take the company to a new scale of valuation, and then invite the outside investors at the next level of valuation. Why now? You know that if you invest 800 crores, easily you can create 10 times of valuation now, because the industry is nascent, it's growing, and you should take an advantage of investing your own money and making show the people, show the world that you are capable of taking the company to the next stage of such a stage where you can deliver up to 5,000 buses in a year. And then after that, why don't you go look for an external investment?
You have to best understand that we are looking for good investors to come into the system, and once they bring in, they would definitely look at profitability, and they are almost ready with the fundraise program. Unfortunately, the market has not been conducive for the last 3 months. So now that things are slowly stabilizing, and I think if you have seen, I think there was an IPO which got concluded from Mankind. Things are happening positively, and we expect the market to improve. and definitely would like to do the fundraise and followed by definitely promoters also would like to contribute.
Yeah, but see, the good investor is with you itself, your own promoter. And I'm saying like 800 crore is something which you should look at investing at your end. And then later on, when after 1 year or 2 years, when the capacity is full, you go for external investors. And because it makes sense for us to invest now and make sure that our valuation is from 5,000 crores goes to 25,000 crores. And at that point of time, you get the outside investors. This is the real, that is how which gives the confidence to us that you are looking at a nascent stage of business, but you are looking at a very high valuation, high profitable business.
The point noted. We will go back and deliberate on this point.
I think you should take this company to a stage of 5 times of the current valuation and then look for the external investors, and then see that your money is giving you a good return, and as well as to the investors who have come at this nascent stage itself, taking the huge risk and believing that such a good promoter and your team like yours. But we want that our value should be within our promoter group and the investors who have come at an early stage, and then should be given to the outside investors.
Yeah, as I mentioned, your points are valid and noted. We will deliberate internally with the management.
Thank you. Mr. Anil, may we request that you return to the question queue for follow-ups. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Puneet Chokhani from Black Gold LLP. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. I had a couple of questions. First one being, what is the update on the Bombay order, the Mumbai order that is 2,000 odd buses, the case that was going on with Tata Motors?
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Chokhani. Please use the handset mode, sir. The audio is slightly muffled.
Is this better? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My first question is regarding the court case regarding the Mumbai order of 2,000 odd buses. If you can update us on that.
Yeah, the matter is still in sub judice. The matter is likely to come up in this month.
So how many buses have been delivered so far of that order till date?
We have delivered about 20 buses out of 2,100 buses.
Okay. So you mentioned you have an order book of 3,000 odd buses. Does this include the Mumbai order?
Yes, correct.
So don't you think it will be prudent to leave that order out of your order book at this point, because it's been sub judice and you don't want to talk about it, and I mean it's out of your control. So technically you should be excluding that and indicating your order book, right? Because it's been in court for the last 3 quarters, if I remember correctly.
I know. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Anyways, so I wanted to know, please correct me if I'm wrong. You mentioned that you plan on delivering about 1,500 buses odd this year, this financial year. Is that correct? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that you will probably be doing 200 this quarter in Q1. So if you can, I just want to understand the math of how you come up with 1,500 numbers, because there are 2 functionalities in my mind. Last year you had supply chain issues, which you mentioned to another participant that it's sort of easing off, but they still exist. 2, you have your capacity, which has been postponed because of your fundraising postponement. You expect to happen in Q4. So how do you, if today you're doing about 150 odd buses a quarter, you're saying you're going to do 125 odd buses plus tippers every month. But then you're saying you're doing 200 buses this quarter. So if you can just, I mean, the math doesn't add up. How did you, I mean, what is the plan internally, if you can sort of help us understand?
Basically, our focus this year would like to complete the order book other than the best, which is under sub judice. Okay, and we are very conservative in giving those numbers of 1,200 to 1,500 numbers. And we continue to be, we have faced, definitely not only us, the entire industry faced the supply chain constraints. So though things are fine now, we would like to be very conservative in projecting our numbers. And we have a capacity of making 125 buses per month.
So, sir, I mean, and I'm assuming this capacity is fungible with the tipper, right? Your tipper and the buses get made in the same facility.
Yes, yes.
So what you're saying is you're going to operate at 100% capacity utilization for the next entire year, which is 125 buses a month, which adds up to 1,500 buses a year. But in Q1, you will deliver 200 buses. Means then you will basically have to operate at more than 100% in the next 9 months. Is that correct?
Basically, we are operating on a single shift. We can definitely increase our capacity. So our plans is to do about 1,200 to 1,500 buses oblique tippers this year.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not being able to understand the math. I understand your plan, but it's just not adding up. Question number 3 is you mentioned that you sold 17 tippers in the last quarter. Now, just if I don't know if you can sort of give details, but was this sold to the parent company or was it an outside customer?
No, it is sold to MEL. We got the first order from MEL for 20 tippers.
Okay. And so this, I would assume, happens at arm's length when the transaction happens with MEIL, because this is you work like an OEM, right? There is no gross contract over here, so your payment comes in as soon as you sell. Like you sell a car, you sell a truck, right? So how does the payment structure work? So in how many days do you get payment from MEIL for a sale of a tipper to them?
So we expect we get an advance, and then we settle it 50% advance we receive, and 50%.
Sorry, you mentioned 50%, right?
Yeah, 50% advance and 50% within 60 to 90 days.
All right. And so you have an order book at this point from MEIL specifically, which you can share for the tippers?
We have received first order book of 20 tippers from MEIL, and we have delivered 17. We are getting a lot of inquiries from many players, many parties.
Okay.
So it's in the inquiry stage. To get translated into a proper order, we expect it to happen in the next 2 months.
Okay. So question, I think somebody had asked that question, but just sorry if I'm being repetitive. But you've got a large competitor down south. Murugappa Group has done an acquisition for a company which does tippers and trucks from Haryana. What is your 2 cents on that? Because they already have fleet on the street. Like what we hear is they deliver buses, they deliver trucks to Dalmia Cement and that category of clients already. So what is your sort of 2 cents on that would sort of help us understand better?
I think I have clarified in earlier questions. So basically, there's a lot of opportunity for everyone to come in. So as far as we are concerned, we have our tippers have done successfully trials, and the performance has been very, very encouraging. And the tipper truck market is quite huge. So and the economics is quite good between a diesel tipper and electric tipper. And I think we have been doing extensive trials for more than a year and successfully did in all kind of terrain. And as the market is quite huge, even if anybody comes in, I think the ecosystem will be created and it will help the market.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I once again thank all the stakeholders who have been very supportive, who have been encouraging, and who have been very patient with the company and the faith reposed in our company. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Axis Capital Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.